Welcome to the Parsha Perspective. Each week, we will delve deep in a weekly Torah portion to find a practical and insightful way to enhance your daily life. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Rabbi Shalom Yamini, and each week we will look into the weekly Torah portion to find practical and insightful ways to enhance your daily life. This week's Parsha Perspective is in honor of our homeland, Eretz Yisroel. May God protect our brave soldiers, and may God return all the hostages from Gaza immediately. This week's Parsha Perspective is in honor of the Refuah Shlema, the complete and speedy recovery of HaRav Amitai ben Shoshanna, and all those who need to experience a speedy and complete recovery. This week's Parsha Perspective is in loving memory of Edward Ben Efraim, Shlomo Ben Edward, Yirachmiel Daniel Ben Gedalia. May their souls be uplifted and may their memories be a blessing. This week's Torah portion is Parsha Bechukosai as we end the third book of the Torah, Sefer Vayikra. Our Parsha begins with the incredible blessings that we will receive for doing God's commands, and especially if we do with dedication and enthusiasm. There will be plenty of produce to harvest, and it will keep us busy from one harvest to the next. There will be rain in its proper time and an abundance of sunlight to quickly develop the produce. We are also told of the severe, the terrifying punishments for rejecting, for disobeying God's commands. Nevertheless, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, God in His great mercy, states that under no circumstances will He forsake, will He abandon us. This is because God has made a covenant, a bris, with our forefathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, that their descendants will be His chosen nation. However, a question comes to mind. Among the rewards we receive for following God's path is that God will dwell amongst the Jewish people. The pasuk states, "I will establish my home in your midst, and I will not despise you." But how is the end of the pasuk a reward? Shouldn't it have said, "I will cherish you," rather than "I will not despise you"? Why is this one of the rewards we receive for following in God's commands and for following in God's path? The Ramban, Rav Moshe ben Nachman, gives an interesting explanation. He examines the pasuk and divides it into two separate rewards. First, God will dwell and make a home in the midst of the Jewish people. Secondly, God's divine spirit will not stay within the confines of that home, but rather be embedded amongst the Jewish people. The Ramban understands the second part of the pasuk, "I will not despise you," as a separate element of our connection to God. While it is no simple feat to feel a bond in spaces intended for connection, such as synagogues, shuls, study halls, and yeshivas, it is even a greater feat to feel connected in spaces with conflicting ideas and distractions. Accordingly, the second part of the pasuk is a separate, distinctive reward for following in God's path. However, the Orach HaMakadesh, Rav Chaim ben Attar, a Moroccan commentary and Kabbalist, gives a deeper and more profound explanation. He agrees that the pasuk has two separate rewards. First, that God will dwell within the Jewish nation. But second, we will feel the depth of our bond. We will feel the depth of our connection to our Creator. Despite being metaphysical and entirely supernatural, our attachment to God will be felt physically. The Orach HaMakadesh explains, based on Kabbalah, that the spiritual and the physical are opposites, each contrasting with opposing notions, opposing beliefs. Generally, they cancel out each other and do not exist side by side in harmony. Based on our actions, based on our focus, one will always prevail over the other. Furthermore, the concept of physicality before the King of all kings, before the Creator, the Master of the universe, who supersedes time and space, is intrinsically insignificant. Yet, the reward for following His path, for following His commands, is God embedding His divine holiness in our materialistic world, in our bodies of flesh and blood. Despite the intrinsic differences between God and the physical world, He embeds Himself within it, fostering a relationship that we can deeply feel. God bridges the vast divide between heaven and earth, so we may feel His love and affection here on earth. The Orach HaMakadesh's profound lesson is ever more relevant as the holiday of Shavuos quickly approaches. With the giving of the Torah on Har Sinai, on Mount Sinai, God effectively removed the veil between the upper and lower worlds. He enabled our physical world to become a home for His divine spirit, as we seek to uplift the mundane to the holy and bring about the ultimate redemption. In our daily life and during these trying times, we must realize that it is not enough to create space. We must truly unite with our fellow Jews. Each of us is individually empowered with godly spirit to fulfill a mission and purpose. Uniting collectively creates an unstoppable force as we fulfill God's vision for our world. There's a powerful quote by Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs of blessed memory. One of the great differences between Judaism and the other religions is that while others seek to lift people to heaven, Judaism seeks to bring heaven down to earth. Have a great weekend and good Shabbos. Thank you for tuning in to the Parsha Perspective. Check out our website, theparshaperspective.com. Send thoughts and comments to theparshaperspective@gmail.com. Till next time, thanks for listening.